I have the new Gingerbread Bakery palette from Simply Posh Cosmetics, and I have a teeny tiny Sephora bag with some things I picked up during the Sephora sale. So we're gonna do a testing new makeup video. If that sounds interesting to you, just keep watching. I'm so excited today to play with some makeup. I have been feeling so crummy between Halloween being on Friday and the time change, you guys. It's been rough. So I totally meant to have this video prepared for the Simply Posh announcement, but I missed it by a day. It is what it is. I'm excited though to go ahead and play with some new goodies. So I did show you guys the palette. I also have one of the new Huda palettes. I said I wasn't going to buy these, but I was going to buy, actually I did buy the YSL palette during the Sephora sale, and I should have known better. I should have known better. It said it was available for in-store pickup, so I put it in with my in-store order. And lo and behold, I woke up in the morning and they had my order ready to go, except for the YSL palette. I low-key think somebody wanted it, like a Sephora employee wanted it, and they just knocked it out of my order. I feel like that wouldn't be so far-fetched. I have worked retail in the past, and I've never personally done that in a store, but I don't think it would be that hard to do, to just say, oh, everything's available except this one item. I just thought it was a little weird. I'm just saying, they had 2 testers out in the store and it looks so beautiful. Anyway, can you tell I'm a little bit salty? I'm still bummed about that, but I did end up grabbing this one because I was like, yeah, why not? If I hate it, I'll return it, but I was a little bit curious. The packaging feels really nice. So I have a bunch of Sephora things. I don't want to give too much away, so let's just go ahead and zoom you guys in so you can see everything up close and personal. Okay, so I thought it would be fun to make this video a mix of indie makeup as well as makeup that I purchased during the Sephora sale. I also want to de-influence you with some makeup, but I did go ahead and throw on a foundation because I didn't have a new one to share with you guys. But let me tell you, it was so validating to see some of my friends also recommend the Makeup by Mario foundation. This is the newer one. Because when I was filming my Sephora recommendations video, I was like, oh my gosh, these are like newer foundations and not a whole lot of like ones that I purchased at the start of the year. And I was like, am I just like making all this hype up in my head? But I did see a few people actually recommend this foundation too. So it was very validating for me to hear that, because I don't know, it just helped to be like, oh, other people really enjoy this too. Another thing I really was considering picking up for myself was a hydrating primer. I remember really liking the Glow Recipe Watermelon Drops, but I actually decided to clear out my side table at my bed, and I found this randomly in there. I don't know if I had meant to bring it upstairs or what I was doing with this, but I'm pretty sure I got this in the goodie bag for Creators and Friends in New Orleans. And this is from the brand Self-Made, and it's the Secure Attachment Comfort Serum. And you're basically able to use this as a primer or just as like a serum after you cleanse your face. So I felt like this texture reminded me so much of the watermelon glow drops from Glow Recipe. So I decided, hey, since I'm trying not to buy a bunch of stuff and since I'm trying to use up my skincare, let me substitute this. So I'm actually wearing this under the Makeup by Mario foundation, and I think it's doing what I wanted it to do, and that way I didn't have to go buy a new product. I was using something I already had, so that feels like a real win to me. So I wanted to do my bronzer and stuff off camera, but I want to do concealer first. So I grabbed this Makeup Forever concealer. This is the HD Skin Full Cover Concealer, and my friend Angie actually recommended this one in her recommendations video. So I was like, I was kind of curious about this to begin with, and I hadn't grabbed it yet, so I grabbed this one, and then this one I really wanted to try. This is the LYS Bright Start Creamy Buildable Coverage Airbrush Concealer. So I don't know which one I should use first. Both of these have a poofy applicator, which is kind of random, but anyways, let me go ahead and open. I think I'll do the LYS one because I don't think I've seen any reviews myself with this particular concealer, and I'm so curious. So this is what the packaging looks like. It's their signature like triangular shaped packaging, and it's creamy buildable coverage airbrush concealer. All the other lettering on here is so tiny. I really should go see an eye doctor. Anyway, this is the shade TN3. And I think their other concealer is getting discontinued. I think I saw it in the sales section on Sephora, and that's one of my favorite concealers. So I'm hoping this one is as good. I don't know how you guys feel about this packaging, this like doe foot packaging, but we'll see. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I guess I'm not really planning on using this on anybody else, but what is up with that? The Makeup Forever also has like a poof like this, but I'm not seeing any product come out just yet, but I also don't want like a big dollop to just come like flying out. Okay, I think it's breaking through here on the foam a little bit, so just gonna press it. Color looks like a decent match. I always like to put it where I have some discoloration. So we'll just go in with a light hand and just kind of take my little wet beauty blender and blend that into the skin. It looks good. I thought that blended really fast, so that is promising. I just like to go over my entire base just to make sure everything is blended in nicely, but man, that concealer blended so quickly. I'm pretty impressed with that. Now I have a new eyeshadow base to try out, and I'm pretty excited, especially since the Simply Posh palette is a pastel palette. So I don't know why, but I thought, let me grab the Danessa Myricks Color Fix in the matte white, and this is the waterproof matte liquid pigment. And I thought, hey, I always love to try out new eyeshadow bases, and I watched Monica Robbie. She is a massive brown girl content creator, and she uses a skin tone shade as a eyeshadow base. And for my base shade that's a little bit more of a brown, I use the Sigma Ignite primer, and I have so many backups of that. So I thought, let me get the white instead of getting one that's my skin tone. And everybody loves Danessa Myricks. I don't think I saw a single Sephora recommendations video that doesn't have at least one Danessa Myricks recommendation. So I feel like she's a brand that's doing things right and is such a like renegade in the makeup community and beauty industry. So I wanted to try this. I have tried other Color Fix products before, and I've tried like the neons and stuff, haven't been that into them. Today, since we're playing with pastel, I was gonna do a brown look, but I want to test out this primer too, so I'm very curious. So I'm just directly applying this white base onto my eyelids and just a little bit on the crease. And we'll see if it helps bump up the pigmentation of the pastel shades in the palette. But yeah, I'm so curious because I've been loyal to the Sigma Ignite eyeshadow primer for years. And sometimes even with pastel palettes, I just use that one. But if I can find a solid eyeshadow base that's a white that I can use for bumping up the saturation of pastels, then I will. And this one feels a little sticky, but it definitely blended out well. So I'm going to give it a second to dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do my bronzer, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're all bronzed up. I did use the Rare Beauty Contour, which honestly works as a bronzer shade for me. This is the shade Serene. And then for my powder bronzer, I actually pulled out the Charlotte Tilbury. This was another one that my friend Angie mentioned in her video, and it kind of just reminded me like, I have that, I should try that again. So that was fun. I thought it looks really good on my skin, of course. And now let's play with the eyeshadow palette. I feel like I've just been waiting to play with this since I saw it. It looks good enough to eat and is giving me all the festive feelings with this adorable packaging. Oh my gosh, I feel like I definitely guessed right because I was talking about the sneak peek they had posted in my new makeup video, and I was like, it's gotta be like gingerbread and then those like minty and pink shades. So It was really fun. My psychic ability was in full force, but let's get into close-ups and swatches. The Gingerbread Bakery Shadow Palette is the perfect holiday treat. This limited edition palette is packed with a delicious mix of sweet pastels and warm spice hues, making it essential for all your festive holiday looks. This was a deeply personal and fun palette to create, as the gingerbread theme is one of my favorites. We designed the shades to tell a complete story. The pastel side represents the sweet sugary decorations used to adorn gingerbread houses and cookies. The warm neutral side represents the rich spice tones of the actual gingerbread cookie itself. So this palette is launching on November 7th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it is going to be available at Monolith Shop as well. I do have a discount code. It's KH Makeup if you would like to use it and save. Okay, let's chat about swatches. So I made a last second decision to swatch all the mattes together and then swatch the 6 shimmer shades. So hopefully you guys understand, but the shade Icing is a yellowy matte. We've got like half pastels, half neutral palette here. And then Cookie Cutter is a matte pastel pink. Peppermints is a minty green matte shade. And then we have the first row of neutrals. So Dough is a light brown. Then we have Nutmeg, which is a more medium brown. And then Molasses is a more chocolatey brown shade. And then the bottom row, we have Pastel Sweets, which is a peachy matte. Lollipops is a purple matte. And then Baked with Love is a pastel blue shade. These are the neutral browns I like and I think will work really well with my skin tone. So we have Brown Sugar, Cinnamon, and Chocolate Chip. Brown Sugar and Cinnamon are mid-tone, like terracotta brown shades, and then Chocolate Chip is a brown with like a hint of red to it, and it looks so rich and beautiful. And then we have the shimmers. So Gumdrops is a shade that has a lot of like purple and pink sparkles to it. It doesn't really have a lot of base to it, but it's a very pink and purpley sparkly shadow. Sprinkles is a shadow that has a lot of red and berry sparkles and also a shift of gold. So it's a very festive color. Bake Shop is a very like wintry light blue shade with lots of blue and silvery sparkles in it. Big Fresh is another shade that doesn't have a lot of base to it, but it has a lot of pink and green shimmers in it. Spice is a yellow gold shade with lots of gold sparkles and a little bit of a warm like orange base to it. Soft and Warm is another shade that has like a brownie shift and lots of silvery gold sparkles. So it's more of a neutral shimmer shade. So those are the swatches of this palette. Okay, so now that you've seen the close-ups and the swatches, let's get into a makeup look. I have an idea. We'll see how it pans out. I kind of want to play with the pinks and the browns. We'll see. I have on this like pink shirt and I just feel inspired to do something like simple and girly but cute. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm just grabbing this old ColourPop blush and we'll go into the shade called Lollipops. And that's gonna be my crease color. And I will say these shades definitely felt a little light and soft when I swatched them, which is usually what happens with the Simply Posh palettes, but so many of you love that about these shadows, and I feel like where would be the fun if like every indie brand had the same formula? And I will say that obviously not every brand has the same formula, but a lot of indie brands have similar feeling eyeshadow formulas. I'm sure the ingredients and the amounts are different here or there, but this Simply Posh formula truly feels very different from a lot of my favorite indie eyeshadow brand formulas. And it's just a little different. It's a lot softer, which I think makes it very beginner friendly, but also, you know, you can finesse them and do some fun things. This, I feel like I would just wear this one eyeshadow as just like the girliest, prettiest, pinky look just all over the lids, and then you could throw on just like a shimmer and it would be so cute. But how pretty is that? I love that color. So that's the shade Lollipops, and it's more of a mauve, but I thought it would look really cute and pinky on my skin tone. I'll take a little bit of Cookie Cutter, which is a pastel shade, and the pastel pink shade, I should say, and put a little bit of it on the inner portion of the lid. But for the eyeshadow shade, I think I'm going to use, I kind of want to use this shade called Soft and Warm. It looks brown in the pan, but when I swatched it, it had a neutral shimmer vibe, but lots of like silvery sparkles. And I think it'll pair well enough with this mauve color. So let's see how it turns out. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm going to pick up Soft and Warm. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. It's like chocolatey sparkles. And I don't know if I told this story, but the other day I tried to use this to spray my face. And I was like, holy smokes. It like shot so much setting spray at my face. I like felt like I took a shower. That was scary. I will not be using the Rick and Morty Glamlight setting spray to spray my face ever again. Just to wet my eyeshadows because the spray is so strong. So I'll just use it for that, and hopefully by 2028 maybe I'll be able to use up this bottle because it's huge, it's full, and you guys know how long it took me to use up the Scooby Dooby one, so I'm guessing this one's going to take a while as well, which is fine. I have been panning a bunch of stuff recently. I feel like I've been trying to use up like all these moisturizers that I had like a little bit here, a little bit there, so that's been really fun. But how pretty is that? It's so sparkly, so cute, so holiday. I feel very festive. So now I'm going to line the lower lash line quick. If you're looking for an awesome light purple eyeliner, definitely get this one from Glossier at the Sephora sale so you can get a little discount. But this is amazing. I picked this up from a Sephora sale, I think last fall, because it was something that I was definitely missing in my collection, and I've been using this one a bunch, so highly recommend. And I bought it in the, there's like a cherry shade because I really wanted a red liner as well. So just filling in the gaps in my own collection. But I really want to go crazy because I love this time of year with the Sephora sale. But you guys, I like look at my bank account and it like humbles me because I have a separate account for my makeup stuff, and it could be better. Let's just say that. So I'm trying really hard to be very like mindful, and it seems like a lot of you are too. I saw a few comments in my recommendation video that you're like not really that tempted by the sale, which is a good thing for sure. And I only bought really things that I wanted to try for a long time or brands that I haven't tried, and I really am tempted to buy like multiples of like blushes and stuff that I want from brands that I have blushes that I like already, and I really tried not to do that. And I did cave though, and I bought a Rhode blush because of course every Instagram and TikTok is like, it's the time to buy from brands that don't usually go on sale, and Rhode Beauty's never had a sale before, so you should take advantage and shop Rhode Beauty. So the one shade I wanted, Sleepy Girl, was sold out, of course, online, and in store they don't have it either. So then I got a different shade because I really wanted like a pinky mauve color, and I found another one. Can't remember it, but I did order that one online. So I was just taking Lollipops and I was just putting it in the lower lash line just to add a little bit of matchy-matchy. And now I'm going to take the shade Chocolate Chip, which is the deepest brown shade in this palette. And I want to use it just a little bit on the outer corner. These shades are so soft, you guys. They are really light and delicate, and you just take a little bit and you just mix it in there, and it creates like a little bit of a shadowy effect. Nothing too wild and crazy. Yeah, this is me playing with a pastel palette, and you guys know pastels and we try really hard to get along, but we struggle. We struggle, by we I mean I struggle with pastels. I try so hard to embrace them and, you know, enjoy them for the gently pigmented shadows that they are. Okay, so I packed a little bit of that brown shade into the crease. I definitely need to go back and get my eyebrows done, so that'll be a project for tomorrow, hopefully. But I went upstairs for a little bit and my kids were like, "Mom, your eyes, they're so sparkly." They're so sweet. It was really fun to show them my eye look. So I think that's where I'm at. I think I might add a little bit in the inner corner. Not sure what shade yet. But okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try out the Huda blush palette now. This is in the shade Toasty Peach. I bought Toasty Peach because I am a fan of peachy tones. So I'm going to go into this kind of like brown shade called Sunset Lychee, I believe. And that's the shade I want to try out on my face today. I saw you could like mix them too, but I think I might just go ahead and apply it just one at a time. This is like very lightly pigmented, and I heard that it was lightly pigmented. I used to have the other Huda face palettes. I don't know if I saved any of the ones I had previously, but I feel like I saw something about how like Huda waited so long to release these little blush palettes, and I saw the swatches and I wasn't very convinced, but I swear the reason I bought this is because the YSL one slipped out of my grasp and I was so bummed because it actually looks a lot deeper in person. But this is cute. Like, it looks, you know, like it's a little bit blurring. Nothing like the same impression as the way I felt when I tried out the Ilia or the Glossier blushes, but I'm picking up quite a bit on this blush brush and I feel like it's so lightly pigmented. So I'm not going to encourage anyone to run out and buy this right away. So let's try the highlight. It's kind of like a peachy, pinky highlighter. Okay, the highlighter seems more pigmented than I thought. I definitely went in with the heavy hand on the highlight because I thought, it's not going to do much for me, but it's cute. I like the little kind of pinky peachy shift to it. So that is the blush palette. And then I, of course, need to throw on mascara, but I have some new lip products I want to try as well. I was really curious about these lip products from Refi, and they have lots of really pretty brown tones, so I couldn't help myself. I bought 3 shades. I tried on the shade, I believe I tried on the shade Maple on my Instagram stories on Friday because I had picked this up in store. And then I have the shade Mocha, which looks like it's a dark brown. So today I'm going to try out the shade Rosa, which looks like a light nude. And this has a really strange applicator as well. It's a doe foot with like a little silver bead here. It's a metal bead. And so you crank this one too. And the product comes out pretty roaring and fast here. So I just did a little spin there and I'm going to stop. And then I think the applicator is supposed to be cooling, which it is. It's a satin formula and I think this is the lighter nude shade. And it has an interesting applicator, so the applicator does take a second to get used to. This is just my second time applying one of these Refi lip products, but they're opaque, they're satin formula, and they last pretty decently. I really like this shade as well. I really like the Maple shade too. It was more of a dark brown. So far I'm very happy with that purchase, and that is just one of 2 lip products I picked up during the sale. I think I saw Refi had sent some of these out in PR. I don't know anybody personally that gets Refi PR, but I really like these, so I should probably actually film a lip swatch video with all 3 so people have a reference, but I really love this color. So the makeup look is done. I just need to throw on some mascara and I'll be right back to show you the finished look. Oh, and I need to throw in something in the inner corner. Haven't decided on that yet. Okay, friends, here is the finished look. I really like how it turned out. It's very soft and girly, in my opinion. I don't always do soft and girly looks, so that was really fun. But let's go ahead and break down everything I tried today so I can give you guys my opinions especially some of the Sephora stuff if you're planning on picking it up during the sale. So let's start off with the concealer. I really feel like this is a good concealer. Of course, this is my first time trying it, but I think I did a good job with the shade match, and it doesn't feel cakey at all under my eyes. It blended out super easily, and LYS is definitely not the most expensive brand at Sephora, so if you're balling on a budget, this might be a good one to check out. I have had really good luck with the Estee Lauder concealer. Some of my favorites, because I was looking through the concealers, Danessa Myricks concealer is also really awesome. So those are two of my favorites. The Tower 28 one has been a long time favorite, so those would be some of my recommendations. But if you're wanting to try a new one, this one's pretty good. Obviously, it's my first time trying it, so it's a first impression, but I am impressed by that one. Next new product I tried in this video is the Simply Posh eyeshadow palette. I think this is such a fun holiday theme. The gingerbread theme is so cute, and I love that they said this is something that they really enjoy as far as holiday decorations, the gingerbread theme. So they have this really pretty packaging. And I also wanted to point out when I did the close-up, I showed you guys the inside. This little gingerbread packaging is so cute on the inside. And then we have the half neutral, half pastel, kind of more colorful side of the palette. So I really want to create a full neutral look with this palette, but I was really wanting to play with the pinks after I put on this shirt. So I really like how this look turned out. I think it's a simple, easy look, and I definitely think you can create lots of fun, festive looks with this palette. I think a lot of these shimmers will pair really well with the pastels they included, as well as the neutral shades that were included. I guess if I had to give a gripe, I do wish there was a colorful deepening up shade or just a black with this palette, because it would just be easy to deepen things up if you like to create a more smoky look. This one is a lot of mid-tone shades, so if that's not your preference, you might end up not liking this one. But this palette is launching on the 7th at 1 p.m. Central Time, so definitely mark it in your calendar if you're interested. And like I said, I do have a discount code with this brand as well that you can use to shop. I'll put all the information in the description box, and if I remember to, I'll also put it in a pinned comment for you guys. And then the next new product we tried is this Huda blush palette. I think that I should have listened to the initial reviews of this palette that I saw. I can't remember who I saw talking about this, but they had definitely said something about how bad the swatches looked on the deeper skin tone. So I think I remember looking at the image on Sephora, but I'll try and remember to put it up here for you guys as well. But yeah, the swatches definitely didn't catch me. I did see these sent out in PR and they looked really pretty, like all of the palettes laid out together really caught my eye, and I really do love Huda. I feel like for the most part she really gets the undertones of different brown complexions, so I always want to support, but this one was a bit of a miss. I mean, it looks pretty, but it's also really like so gently pigmented. I don't know that this is my preference. I think the highlighter is cute. It's a fun like duochrome highlighter, so that's cute. The packaging's cute. Okay, this retails for $43, so that makes each pan a little over $10. I don't think that's the worst price point, but I don't think these are like big giant pans either. The entire knit weight is 7.5 grams or 0.26 ounces of product, and it is made in Italy with a 24-month shelf life. It's cute, but I don't know. I just don't feel like this was worth it. I definitely feel like I could get this type of look just by going really light-handed with any other blush palette that I already own. So for that reason, I think you can skip this one. I almost forgot to talk about the eyeshadow base. I will say I didn't have any problems with this one. It did not crease or anything on my eyes, so it definitely sets down really well. I think if you have oily eyelids, I'll be very curious to hear from y'all if you've tried this as an eyeshadow base, because I didn't ever really pay attention to the matte shades of the color fixes. I've had like the shimmers and the neons. The neons I had never felt like they were fully matte though either, so I never went back to look at them, but maybe I should take a peek. This new white one that I purchased I think could be a decent base for oily eyelids, so I'm curious about that. I'll have to check with some friends that have oily lids as well because I'm curious, but for me it felt like it set down really well. I don't feel like the eyeshadows popped as much as I was hoping with the white base, but that could just be me and my technique, so I'm curious to keep trying that with other eyeshadow palettes as well. Maybe something I've used in the past with a different base. I could see how it performs with this new one from Danessa Myricks. And then last but certainly not least, I think this might be one of my favorite things that I picked up during the sale, is these Refi lipsticks. So they're called the lipstick, do they have like a name? Satin Liquid Lip Pen, and I saw a picture of these before they launched and I saw them on Sephora and I was already curious because I just thought this was such a great shade range. I wasn't really sure about the applicator because I don't really like a sponge tip applicator with lip products, but I was willing to look past it, and they had all of these shades available in store, so I did a store pickup for them and I've been playing with them since Friday. So far, I think they are a really nice formula. They are a satin formula, so they do move around. They're not going to last through like a meal or anything, but I feel like they are comfortable. They go on nice and opaque, and this is just something a little bit different from what I'm used to seeing as far as satin lipsticks go. So yeah, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with those in my collection. I definitely have told you guys throughout this year that I'm trying to buy as little lip products as possible just because I have so many lip products and I feel like I waste so many lip products because I can never use up a lip product other than like a lip balm every once in a while. So I've been trying to be very mindful this year of all the lip products I bring into my collection, but I made a special exception with these ones because I was so curious. So those are some of my thoughts on some of the new makeup I tested out that I received in PR or I picked up during the Sephora sale. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, friends!